Chris is out of town, but I have a special guest joining me today. Sweet Simple Mom herself.
Hello.
Irene, or you guys can call her Auntie Dolly. What are we making today, Mom?
We're gonna be making chicken adobo.
Vegan chicken adobo, of course.
Vegan chicken adobo. We're gonna be using soy curls.
Soy curl. Yeah, this is actually our first time using it. We experimented with it yesterday. Pretty dang good for a meat substitute, I must say. What do you think about the texture?
I like it. I mean, I've actually not used it for any of my dishes, but that's what I was telling you earlier. I'm glad you introduced me to this.
Shoot, yeah.
I'm going to be using this for a lot of different dishes now.
So adobo is a Filipino dish. It's usually made with chicken or beef.
Well, actually pork.
Oh,
usually
pork.
Chicken or pork.
Chicken or pork, sorry.
Yeah.
And I've only had one really good vegan adobo since going vegan, and it's actually after I moved here to Portland. It's at this place called the Chiza. I took my mom there. That was like the first place we went.
It was good. It was very authentic. It was scary. It looked like chicken.
She like interviewed the waiter. She's like, "What is this? How do you do this? Where can I get this meat?" It was so funny. So from there, I was like, "My mom's in town. Why don't we try making our own version?" Because we veganized pancit, lumpia, right? We don't have a recipe for that out yet, right? That's not in the ebook.
No, not the lumpia.
The pancit is in our ebook. The kare-kare is in our ebook. We have bibingka, which is my aunt's recipe. That's in the ebook. The ebook will be linked down below, of course. What other Filipino recipes? I guess your beef stew. Is that Filipino?
Yeah, I mean, we make that. I think that's in your ebook. Sinigang, we've cooked sinigang with vegetables. That's usually with fish. But we have it with just vegetables, so that's easy to make.
So we are going to slowly but surely veganize all of the Filipino classics because we're vegan now, but it's what I grew up eating, what you grew up eating and made for me. So it's really cool to be able to veganize it and share with our friends and family, introduce them to veganism.
Especially adobo. So this is now going to be a dish that I'll be bringing with me when I go to the next family party, so I can show it off.
Yeah. So for soy curls, this is what it looks like before it's cooked, and then it's dried, and then this is what it looks like once you rehydrate it. So basically, you just stick the soy curls in a bowl, pour some boiling water over it, and soak it for 10 minutes. And then you bring it over to the sink and strain it. And what my mom and I did is we grabbed handfuls of it and we squeezed out excess water carefully because they're kind of fragile. That's basically it. Super simple. It's a whole soy product. So how do we get started here? I'm gonna let you take the...
Okay, so we're gonna be adding a 1/4 cup of oil. Seems like a lot, but adobo is typically a fatty dish, so it actually keeps the soy curls moist. So it's a 1/4 cup.
Yeah, we want it to replicate it as best we can.
You can lessen it if you don't want that much oil.
Here.
Let's put this here. And then just let the oil warm up a little bit. And then we're going to be adding a 1/4 teaspoon of...
Half a teaspoon.
Or is it half a teaspoon?
Yeah.
Sorry, half a teaspoon of peppercorns. I don't measure, so...
I know, oh my gosh.
It's hard for me to cook in measuring. Jasmine keeps saying, you have to measure, but I don't usually measure.
She goes by smell, look.
And you can do that too as you're cooking if you want to add more of this, more of that. So this one will have 5 bay leaves here. So same thing if you want to add a little bit more. So we're just going to let this fry up a little bit so all of the seasonings will go into the oil.
We forgot to mention that I guess the 4 components of adobo are, I guess the main components?
The main components.
Bay leaf, peppercorn, vinegar, and soy sauce, right?
Yes.
And then we're adding our own spin on it. We're adding some veggies today, which aren't typically in adobo, but we really like them in adobo, so.
It just gives it a little bit more texture too. Like, you know, the Filipino recipe doesn't come with vegetables, it's always just the meat. But like Jasmine said, you just wanted to add some some additional texture to it. And then some people also add a sweetener. So we're going to be adding some brown sugar to it just to tone down the vinegar flavor. So that's the other thing, is as you're tasting the sauce, as you're cooking it, if it's a little bit pungent based on the vinegar that you're putting, you can add a little bit of brown sugar. White sugar is okay too. Agave, you can use that if you don't have brown sugar in your pantries.
Brown sugar's our fave though.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
It just, again, it gives it, and then the sauce thickens a little bit when you use the brown sugar. And so it's my favorite in eating the adobo is the sauce.
Sabaw.
The sabaw.
That's how you say it in Tagalog.
And then you put it on top of the warm rice. So as this is cooking down a little bit, I'm gonna add the chopped garlic. And this is 5 cloves of garlic.
A lot of garlic is our favorite. Sometimes my mom just fries straight up garlic and we just eat it.
With rice, of course.
It's so good.
So again, you smell the flavors just coming together. Here's with the garlic. And what you want to see is you want the garlic to brown a little bit.
Fry.
Yeah, as you're frying it, it'll brown. So
fried garlic is the best kind of garlic.
So you can see it's turning a little bit brown in color. You don't want to burn it. So as that's cooking, then you'll add the onions. So this is sliced onions. How many cups you measured it? So again, I don't measure.
I don't remember, but we'll have it all linked in the recipe down below. Don't worry about that. My mom and I'll put a screenshot right now of my little recipe pad. We are going back and forth. We tested this like 3 times yesterday.
Yeah.
We made 3 different batches and the book is just insane. So I'm gonna have to go through it, figure it out, and get everything down for you guys. But
again, I don't measure, so she gets frustrated with me. It's like, I'll just throw it in there. She goes, how many teaspoons? I'm like, I don't know.
When we were doing our ebook with our parents, my mom was the hardest one because I was like, wait mom, like I need to stand next to you, watch everything you do, because she didn't have anything measured out.
Honestly, each time I cook, it's different. So as you're cooking, it's your imagination. So you can kind of change it around. Sometimes whatever I have in my kitchen, that's what will go in or whatever recipe I'm cooking. Like when I make pancit, I always have different vegetables. When I make my lumpia, it's always different filling, because it's just whatever, you know. Sometimes it's also what mood you're in. So you're like, okay, I'm in the mood for, you know, payote this time, or, you know, zucchini. So that's what I'll put. So the other thing I like to do is I always like to saute, like the onions and all of the different, the seasonings that you're gonna put. Because again, it brings out all the flavor. So now that this is cooking down a little bit, we're now gonna add the soy curls, and then that'll just absorb all of those really yummy flavors. So as you can see, the texture of the soy curl I really like.
Chickeny.
It's very chickeny, yeah. So, and it absorbs the vinegar and the soy sauce flavor really well. I get it, I dropped that. But I also like, you know, Jasmine has a new seitan recipe that she uses, different than the seitan I have. The seitan that I cook makes really good carne asada because it's a little bit more dense.
You need to send me that so we can put it on the vlog.
Yeah, that was really good.
I saw photos. It looked amazing.
We did our summer barbecue with my family. So I made our own barbecue, which is carne asada, and I made my own seitan carne asada. So that came out really good. We made some tacos with it. But like I said, the seitan is more dense, so I feel like when I'm sauteing it, it doesn't absorb the flavor as much. But Jasmine's recipe is actually not as dense because you put white beans.
White beans.
Which I never thought
make it
to
a little
do.
differently. I wanted to mention that, well, we tested the seitan yesterday, and we determined that the soy curls were our favorite meat substitute for this. My mom has also tried making this with jackfruit, mushrooms, what else?
Potatoes. I feel that with the mushrooms, it's very vinegary, so I think I have to test it a little bit more. Maybe I need to add more brown sugar to it, lessen the vinegar, so I'm going to try it again. So Now that this is kind of dry, I'm going to add the vegetables. So you just put your
Potatoes and
carrots here. And then just saute. Just do it carefully too, because again, you don't want to break up
the
soy curls. So now we're going to add our liquids.
So, how do you say this in Tagalog?
Toyo. Soy sauce is called toyo in Tagalog. So this one actually we're using tamari, I think.
Yeah,
we wanted it to be gluten-free.
I want Caitlin to try this. She's eating gluten-free, and she's on her way home right now. So, for Caitlin, we did it with tamari, but you can use soy sauce as well.
Yeah. So that was a cup. Oh, again, Jasmine's gonna.
Yeah, it'll be down below.
So this is the vinegar. So we're using apple cider vinegar. We actually, in our test recipe, use the white vinegar. I don't particularly like the flavor as much. It's very pungent, so I think I redid it with the apple cider later last night, and it came out a lot better.
A lot better.
Yeah. And then I'm not gonna put all the brown sugar now, so I'm just gonna probably put half as I'm cooking this.
My mom like pushes the stuff, and then she puts the brown sugar in the corner like with the liquid so that she can mix it directly in. Just a tip if you guys when you guys make this,
because if you just pour it on top, it'll curdle, and you don't want like chunks of sugar as you're biting into it. So and then again, you don't want to over mix it, so I'm just kind of move it around a little bit so that the sugar will distribute into the liquid. So at this point, we're just gonna let this simmer.
Do we have our lid? Are we gonna put the lid on it or not yet?
I'm gonna put a little bit more of the sugar on this side.
I'm gonna find the lid.
There you go.
Pop the lid on.
We're just gonna let that simmer for about 10 minutes or until the potatoes are soft. You don't wanna, again, overcook it. You might wanna just lower your heat just a tad so it's not going to be too hot, because what will happen is the liquid will evaporate if it's too hot. So you wanna keep it just a light simmer, and then also if it's too warm, it'll break out probably the soy curls, and you want that, little chunks of soy curls to stay. So
we're gonna pause. We'll get back to you guys when this is done. Also, I wanted to mention my mom has an Instagram. It's Sweet Simple Mom if you guys want to follow her. And also, if you guys have any requests for Filipino recipes you want us to work on, let me know.
Yeah.
We're not together that often because of course I live in a different state now, but we can work on recipes while we're apart and get together and do more videos. And I don't know, this is fun. It's good because you're doing all of it. I'm just hanging out.
Exactly. No, it's good. I like cooking, so I don't mind. So whichever one you guys want us to try cooking, we'll
put down below.
Almost 15 minutes.
Yeah, more than 10 minutes. I think it was like 20 minutes at that point.
Yeah, that's true. A little bit over 15 minutes. You actually want to stir it in between, just to make sure that the sauce is evenly distributed. And I actually tasted the sauce, and I added another extra tablespoon of brown sugar. Again, it's depending on your taste buds. If you want it a little sweeter, you can add a little bit more brown sugar. So we added, in this recipe, is 1/4 of a cup plus probably another almost a tablespoon of brown sugar. I don't like it too vinegary, so that's why I wanted to add a little bit more sugar. But it's pretty much done. At this point, you have adobo, and as you can see, the soy curls actually absorb the tamari or soy sauce, whichever one you're going to use. So I turned the soy curls
brown like adobo.
Brown like adobo.
Also, we would suggest adding in the potatoes and carrots before the soy curls. We realized they're taking longer to cook than expected. So once you add those in, cook those a little bit and then add the soy curls, so it'll cut down on the cooking time.
Yeah, it probably will, cook a little faster. We did it to, as you can see, we added the soy curls first. It's still intact, but as you continue to mix it, some of the soy curls kind of break apart.
Yeah.
So what you want is to keep it a little bit, intact. So that's probably what I'll do differently next time. Is we'll cook the vegetable first, because it does take a little longer to soften. Right now they're a little bit al dente. I like it like that. I don't like it mushy. So again, depending on the texture that you like. So, but that's it. It's really easy. Doesn't take very long.
Doesn't bother me. I want that one to be covered in sauce.
The other thing that you can also do, as Jasmine and I were talking, is some people like their sauce a little thick. The brown sugar will actually thicken it a little bit, as you can see, but you can add a little bit of cornstarch if you want it thicker. So what I'd recommend is just put a little bit of the sauce in a bowl and then have maybe a teaspoon of cornstarch, and then add the bowl after you add the cornstarch to the bowl, with a little bit of the sauce into the mixture, and then mix it well, and then that'll thicken it. But this is fine the way it is. Again, the brown sugar thicken the sauce. So
yeah, so all that's left to do is serve this up with some rice. Adobo is not adobo without some rice.
Yes.
When we were taste testing it yesterday, she's like, hold on, I have to see how it tastes with rice.
That's how I know adobo. You actually eat a lot more rice than you normally would. I do anyway, because I like rice. So
I think we eat a lot more rice than a lot of people.
We do.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys try out this recipe. Again, this is something I grew up eating, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you guys on YouTube and our blog. My mom's recipe, she did most of this. I just kind of wrote down all the measurements.
I hope you like it.
And we'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know if you will, but we'll have more videos coming soon together.
Bye.
Bye.